Awesome. So, thank you for doing this, Yudi. I appreciate your time here. My audience would love to know about you, and I'm sure they'll know a little bit about you. But um, I want to have a chat with you as if somebody has never heard. Maybe your entire story. Instead of watching 400 videos, we can watch one video and know more about Yudi. So that was kind of my goal. So, but to get started with, is there anything most people don't know about you that you can tell us?
That's a good question. I think I spend a lot of time self-reflecting. I think
Mm-hmm.
I say that a lot also on Instagram. A lot of my strength comes from my God. From God. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people think that I can do a lot of multitasking and I do all this YouTube and work and filming. And how am I able to do all of this? I honestly don't know. I think God uses me and my gifts and my talents. So maybe that is something people don't know about me.
Very interesting. Cool. So, all right. So, why? Let's jump into your background. Okay. So, I'm gonna talk to you as if I don't know you at all. So, give me a little bit of your background. Where do you come from back home in India, and what kind of family you grew up in, and when you came to US?
Yeah. So I come from Mumbai, born and brought up in Mumbai. I'm a Guju boy, though,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody can tell that I'm a Guju. But I am Guju. I
Mm-hmm.
born and brought up in Mumbai in a very small chawl, from a very lower middle class family,
Mm-hmm.
and my house was, or my apartment was like 300 square feet. We had 4 or 5 neighbors in the same floor, and then we were sharing two toilets outside our apartment. So sometimes it's you really have to be strategic when you want to do your
Uh-huh.
business. So
Wow.
yeah, I would wake up at 6 o'clock so that I'm like the first one and I don't have to be in the line. But yeah, that's where I grew up. I did
Mm-hmm.
my obviously I did my engineering. I mean, I'm saying obviously, thinking that a lot of people have seen my videos. But yeah, I did
Yeah.
my diploma in computer science, and then again I did
Okay.
my engineering in IT from DJ
Uh-huh.
Sangvi, one of the very good colleges in Mumbai,
Okay.
and then I'm here in United States
Okay.
from last 8 years.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, what was the turning point for you? Like when you were doing your engineering, what clicked that you wanted to come to US? What was that in the mind?
Nothing. I nobody can tell that I wanted to do masters because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think like it was possible for me financially at all. It
Mm-hmm.
was not the masters. I actually did 8 years, 8 months of work at Capgemini as a software engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we had a reunion. I remember that, and in that reunion, I met one of my old school friend, and she told me that her sister was doing masters in UT Dallas, and she told me that she was making double the money than I was making as Cap Gemini as a software engineer full time job, spending
Okay.
eight to 10 hours, and she was spending only 20 hours and just working as a at a cafeteria. That kind of told me a story that there's a lot more opportunities and there's a value of skills are way higher over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, okay, that was the first turning, like not turning point, but that was the first seed in my head that okay, there is a world outside India, and I could
Yeah.
should be exploring and figure out how I want to do it. And then I think there's another best friend of mine, Neville. He decided that he wants to do masters, and he told me, he came to me and he said like, I'm going, you should do it too. I'm going, you should go
Mm-hmm.
too. And I said, okay, let's figure it out. So yeah, it's really never planned. If I tell anybody that if somebody would have told me in master my during my engineering or even like first few months of Cap Gemini that hey, you're gonna do masters, I would be laugh at them. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
do you know my story? No,
Got it.
so yeah, there was no plans.
Okay. Wow. Very interesting. So maybe your friends kind of motivated you to come here then. That's good. So Yudi, so you decided to come to US, and were you a good student coming, like growing up always, or what kind of student were you? And like, how did your grades made sure, like, kind of helped you come to US, and what universities did you get when you came here?
Hmm. Grade wise, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call myself like super good. Average student, not like
Mm-hmm.
really extraordinary. I was good at ratifying things, memorizing
Mm-hmm.
things. I,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was an average student, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't score a lot in GRE. That's one of my popular video, that 5 myths about GRE. I scored only
Mm-hmm.
295, so it was mainly I studied only like 2 weekends, and I gave GRE because I was on a time crunch. Same for
Mm-hmm.
TOEFL, and I didn't have a lot of. I mean, I had like 6, 7 admits, and I chose Chico State. So like I was an average student, just pretty much like half of the India.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, same here, same like you, man. Yeah, definitely. So why Chico then? Why University of California, Chico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had admits from NJIT. I had admits from Stevens,
Mm-hmm.
Fresno. I think I also had an admit from USC, different colleges, but
Oh,
Chico,
nice.
because there's two main reasons for me to choose Chico. One was definitely big one was cost. I finished my master's under $30,000 with including my living and everything, so maybe a little less.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
so
is in California. That is, oh, you're
yeah.
gonna send a lot of people to Chico now, So
Yeah,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, and Chico is not expensive at all. I
Okay.
always tell the story that I paid $225 for my personal bedroom, personal bathroom. So that's a luxury I had.
Wow.
So that was one reason, because I couldn't afford any other colleges. I mean, this was the lowest in all my
Mm-hmm.
list. And then second, and this was, I think, the main driving factor. Chico State came to one of the education fair in India,
Mm-hmm.
and I met the international lady, international officer or something. And I asked her that, hey, how's the population of Indian students in Chico State? And she said, well, we have only 6 to 8 students in the last batch, and the batch
Mm-hmm.
before we had only 8 to 10 students. And I was like, okay, that's it. Like that's why I made my decision, because for me it was like, if I'm going to different country, I want to explore different culture and
True.
not just be around my tribe,
Yeah,
because a lot of time you get into that comfort zone and you don't get out of your comfort zone.
true.
It's not that I hate Indian students or a Indian community. In fact, all of my best friends are Indian. It's just that if I would be around like 300 students, which are all Indians and all my batchmates, I don't think I would go out and explore different culture, go out and make friends with different people. So,
True.
and that did happen. I mean, I have a lot more American friends. I was so much more involved on campus and things like that. But yeah, those were two main reasons for me to choose Chico State over any other colleges.
Good, good. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, wow. So only 6 to 8 Indians there, and then you were one of them after you came there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
interesting.
I think they did a lot more promotion during my batch. So
Mm-hmm.
my batch had about 50 students. So my batch
Okay.
was the biggest batch ever in the history of Chico State. So
Let me take a guess. This was August of 2013.
correct. Yeah.
Guess what, Yudi? I had transferred at that time from one university to Lawrence Tech University in Detroit. That intake, we had 700 students come in for masters, and my school is only 1,000 people masters. So only
Mm,
1,000 are masters, and 700 were there in one intake. So that
yeah.
was the biggest intake we had ever seen. So
Right.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. There was like a lot of promotion they did. And I guess they might have paid a lot of counseling centers in India, because every other student was recommended Chico State.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that was one of the biggest intakes. Like through my journey here, I've seen with different schools. I used to be on the Indian Student Association as well, so I would watch what's happening at different locations. So it was interesting. So
Yeah.
cool. All right. Okay. So how was your experience at Chico? Like, so you land in California, you come there, you go to school. did you had any weird experiences when you get to school, when you got to school, or how was your master's experience?
My first week. So I am from Mumbai, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So Mumbai is like like San Francisco, New York, LA, big city,
Crowded.
and like a lot of people. And Chico
Yeah.
is like like super opposite, like exactly opposite. Like there's no
Yeah.
people. Like I think the population is only 90,000 people or 100,000 people,
Okay.
and it's mainly college town. So when I came, there was summer
Mm-hmm.
was going on, so there was no even students were not there. So
Mm.
anyway, I mean, it was so yeah, it was like very empty and less people and and there are in my head I had the impression of United States as a skyscrapers and tall buildings
Mm.
and glass building, but Chico is opposite. It's a college town, it's a very remote town. So there was like no tall, the tallest building was fifth 5 floors. So I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
uh, so I within first week I was like
Mm-hmm.
contemplating my decision, and I was like, I want to go back to different university. I had USC, so I was like, okay, maybe
Mm.
I'll go to USC and I'll transfer or something like that. But I think the the I fell in love with Chico because I got involved in different communities over here. Uh,
True.
like my church I go to right now, and the people are super friendly, like so friendly. Like you yeah. I mean, a lot of people know me. I know a lot of people. It's just a very awesome community in Chico. So that
Okay.
part just made me fell in love with Chico itself. So that's why
Mm.
I stick around, and then that's why I'm still in Chico because of that reason. I had offers
Definitely.
from Bay Area, but
Uh-huh.
uh, yeah. And other than that, I think my experience was the like I love my experience. I mean, it was the best. I was the president
Mm-hmm.
of Indian Student Association, where we did a lot of events. We did like one of the biggest event of Chico State, 700 people. We were published in newspaper, on TVs, and all of that. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, biggest challenges like in terms of career was for me to change my career from software developer to project management. That was like big thing for me. It's like to,
Okay.
I mean, not really project management, but the role which doesn't involve a lot of development or coding,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't really enjoy coding.
Okay.
So that was like the big travel, like not struggle, but like that was the big challenge, like how figuring out how I would travel that you know figure out my path to go into project management, business analyst, or role which is more management, less coding.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Wow. So how did you get into PM then? What made you get into project management?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get a very good job on campus. My first job wasn't like great. I was basically in dining halls and cleaning and all that. But my
Yes.
second job on campus was like the best job ever. I was
Mm-hmm.
like in the student clubs and student organization department, and I was like an expert on the tool which they use. It was a web application, so I used to train different department on how to use that web application, etc. So by default, it turned into that business analyst role where they do a lot of like requirement gathering and understanding how they use it, and then I configure the software according to that. So it became like that. The tool was called OrgSync at that time. But anyway,
Okay.
in one summer, so I did not get internship because I was like not sure what was going to happen and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied, but I still did not get.
Okay.
And my boss had offered me to go to a conference. Like there was a 2 weeks conference of the tool which we were using, and they were, I think there was a conference for that, and there were keynote speakers, etc. So I met the person, I met their team members, and I met a lot of people over there. And
Okay.
that's where I found out that there's not just software development. There's not like the life in computer science is so massive. Like you can do
True.
program management, project management, product management. You can become a business analyst, a scrum master, anything and everything you can imagine. There are so many outlets to computer science, and that just opened up my world. And I was talking to that, and I was asking him how he got into it. And that's when I started looking. So I came back, and I actually wasn't looking for PM roles. I was looking for business analysts because that tied to my campus job experience very
Okay.
close to what I wanted to do. Was like be a business analyst, system analyst, business analyst, and because that's more tool focused and understanding clients requirement. And I was always a people person. I love talking to people. I My job was to go to different departments and kind of help them
Yeah.
implement the software. So that I just looked for those roles and figure out what their roles and responsibility is, and then try to start putting those. So I actually extended one semester because of that reason, because I took entrepreneurship, I took project management, like not 101, I think it was 301.
Okay.
And I took some software engineering principle, which is more focused on management principles. That was all MBA class. So
Okay.
yeah, I took 3 class extra for that, and that's kind of how my journey started into getting into that. And luckily, my college has career fair, and my current company, which was there, and I went up to them, and they were hiring for software developers. But I told them, like, that was my, I know this is not part of your question, but this was my sales pitch to the recruiter who was there.
Mm-hmm.
She was a hiring manager. She was looking for QA or a software developer,
Okay.
and then there was HR too, or recruiter too. And I
Mm-hmm.
told her, like, I'm not really looking for software development, but I know software development because I study masters in computer science. So I know how it works, and I know that software developers don't know how to talk to people, and people don't know how to talk to software developers in the technology language. I know both, and I can be the best bridge between them. And I think that was like the line which sold it. And she
Nice.
said, like, we don't have one, but stay in contact. I'll let you know. And then so I emailed her right away after the career fair, and she got back to me within week or so that, hey, we have a project management internship position. Would you be interested in that? It's not business analyst. So I said,
Mm.
yeah, I would be interested. Because so I actually interviewed for all 3 positions: QA, software development, and project management. But then I got project management, and I told no to other 2 positions. But so
Okay.
that's kind of long answer, but that's how I got into it.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Okay. So uh, here's what I'll take. This is what I've understood so far from what you have told me, that you are always an outgoing person. You do love talking to people. So I wouldn't say, are you, you're not an introvert basically, then
I'm
you
an
are
introvert.
always,
I'm a
you are.
super high introvert.
Okay, so how did this talking to people come into play? So how do you feel comfortable maybe going out of that comfort zone and talking to people then?
I love people doesn't mean I'm an extrovert. I mean, I get drained out when I'm talking to people. I gain
Okay.
my energy when I'm just by myself. But I
Mm-hmm.
love people, and I love empathizing with their problems, and I want to really understand what's going on. So I have this genuine empathy for people. That's one of the skills you need to be a project manager, business
True.
analyst, or like this tech management roles, because you really, like, people have so many things going on, and they have so many problems with regards to software industry. So they just really want to share these problems, and if you're not a good listener at that point of time, you're not going to succeed in that role. But anyway, so yeah, I don't really, if there is a group of extrovert, like 4 or 5 people, and everybody's talking, I would be the quietest one. Like, I wouldn't be talking. I would just be like a wall on the fly. Like, I'm like fly on the wall, not wall on the fly. But like, I would be super quiet, and I would be okay. But if there was 5 introverts and nobody's talking, then I'll become an extrovert. Like, I all of a sudden
Mhm.
become an extrovert because I know nobody's talking. So I want to then help people make a conversation. So that's who I am, and it's just really genuine empathy and building relationship with people.
That's very interesting. The more you talk, I feel like you were born to be a project manager, because that's what they do. They listen really well. So a lot of people, when I spoke to you, we did that last video, told me, "Wow, Yudi is such a good listener," and I was also very impressed with that. So seems like you have kind of like multiple, double, triple dipped all your skills into YouTube, project management, and
Right.
everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'm sure your
Yeah,
wife
but
is also very happy.
she is. Sometimes she's angry because I don't talk a lot. So, and
Okay.
she's super opposite. She's an extrovert, so she always want to go in a groups of people, and like if you give me an option, like would you rather be yourself and watch a movie, or would you be rather in a 10 people party? I would say I'll just be myself. I'll watch a movie, have my cup of coffee.
Wow. Okay.
So, but
I would have
nobody
never
can.
guessed that.
Yeah,
I would have
nobody.
never guessed that. Yeah.
I think I become an extrovert. So right now, when people are listening to me, no, like people see me as an extrovert because that's
Mm,
how I portray my energy right now.
got
Because
it.
in my head, this as an introverts are super smart people. Like they
Okay.
know what the task is, and they like internally process what they are here for. External people are like they are processing while they're talking and all of that. So
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, this is very fascinating topic for me.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I love being introvert. And in project management is also not just about listening. You also have to command, because
Hmm.
you need to also evaluate what people are doing. And a lot of time software
Hmm.
developers, for example, they like to go their own way. If you're on a
Got it.
strict timeline, if you're on a strict budget, there are product managers who want to increase the scope in the between of the
Mm,
sprints. So you have to, at that time you cannot be introvert. At that time, no, you gotta speak up and you gotta say like no. So anyway, I was just saying
interesting.
that project management is not just about listening. That is one of the big skill you need, but you also need to speak up, and you need to run the meetings, you need to drive the calls and things like that.
Got it. Okay. Very interesting. Good to know. Good to
Yeah,
know.
these are the topics I'm super passionate about. So I become very excited. So please.
It's fine. So
Uh,
don't worry about it. So I know you have, so you're smart enough to kind of control yourself not to flow different places, but that's totally fine. I want it to flow because that's what I would love to know is I'm sim like you know, I like to know what kind of clicks people, you know, more than just getting to know you on a superficial level. I want to get to know like, hey, what really drives you? What gets you out of the queen bed in the morning or the king bed, you know? What is that gets you out, you know? So thank you for doing that. Yeah,
yeah.
enjoyed that. So you're talking about all your like you know responsibilities in PM world and stuff like that. What is the most difficult thing you do in your like job? What do you find something you do is like tough for you? Like, hey, this is takes a lot of effort from your side to do.
Um, Effort wise, if there's two parts to your question, what is the toughest thing? Toughest thing for me is saying no to people,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of generally, I'm not actually, a lot of people misunderstand my role. I'm not a project manager, I'm a scrum master, and I'm also a
Okay.
software team manager. So I manage,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of developers report to me directly.
Okay.
And like 7-8 people from United States, 22 people from India, so dotted line
Okay.
reporting to me. So a lot of time people reach out to me because they want my developers to work on their project, and I have to say no because I have assigned
Got
them
it.
for different projects. And that's the
Mm,
tough part, because you just have to have that hard conversations. And that part is like hard for me. It's like, I know
okay.
I really want to help you, but I can't, I'm sorry. so
Interesting.
so it's just how you navigate that, not attacking the person but attacking the problem. Really, like, because a lot of time people, you have to deal with different type of people over here sometimes. Not over here, but in general, people take things personally because they're put
Yeah.
in heart and soul. So you have to drive and navigate that hey, it's not about you. I'm really just trying to solve the problem. And problem is we don't have
Okay.
resources, and if we take away a resource from this project, it's going to slip by this timeline. Is that what we want? And at that point of time, they realize that I'm not going against them. I'm just trying to manage the project. And then their attitude changes, and they're like, okay, that makes more sense. Let's try to figure out a balance, a mid ground or something like that. So that's the
Okay.
toughest part, is saying no to people. But the things which I like least like about is the paperwork, the admin work. I
Okay.
don't like about it. I'm horrible at it, doing
I feel
trainings
you.
and
Do you have to write a lot of reports or something, Yudi, as a PM?
yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Have to do that. Is still not that difficult, but like sometimes you have to like do a lot of extensive complex metrics for like where the people are spending hours, budgeted hours, cost, expense, and things like that. So
Okay.
it's just yeah, that's something. I think I'm more process focused than the paperwork.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. So how long you have been working now? Like, so after internship, you basically converted that into a full time. That's what it seems like. So how long you have been with your company, and how's your experience been with your company so far?
7 years. That should tell that my experience has been great.
Wow. Wow.
I started. I mean, I was lucky enough. I'm fortunate. God has blessed me with this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was an intern. I got a full time job, and then I got promoted to be a project manager within like 6 months, and then I got promoted to
Mm,
be a into an R&D team, and then I got promoted in next again like third year to be a team lead, and then I think I got promoted fifth year to be a software team manager, and then last year I mean this year I got promoted as a senior manager. So I've made my jumps. I put in, I say that in my videos, that keep smiling, keep
mm-hmm.
hustling. You gotta focus. People are paying you this much money, so put your heart and soul in it. When you are there,
Mm-hmm.
you're there. So I've always focused on such things.
Good. Okay. So it seems like every year you have made a jump. Most people make jumps in jobs, but you have made it in your own company, which
Yeah,
is really nice to hear.
yeah,
Especially with the current generation, what I'm seeing is like people jump so many jobs these days. It's like, they change jobs like clothes these days. So it's interesting to see that you
yeah.
had this
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I should have been too. If I want to make more money, every
Hmm.
2-3 years is like standard. If you
True.
do make lateral changes, you would make more money, and you would also grow in general knowledge wise too, because you're different people,
True.
different company, different product. I feel like I'm on old school, like very loyal to the company. This company gave me the
Hmm.
first chance, and I love the people I work with, and I'm also in a very comfort zone. So there's a little bit of that too. That I'm like, I know everything I do. I know everybody in my company. I know the
All right.
product in and out. I know the processes in and out. So why make a change? And now I'm afraid
Understood.
of change. That hey, if I switch my job, then I'm not gonna like it so much. What if I don't like it? What if I don't like the people? What if I hate the boss?
Yeah.
So those are the fears. I mean, it's natural, but you
True.
have to decide what's best and what's working for you.
Understood. Interesting. So 7 years you have been working at this company. When did you started YouTube while doing all of this? What was your YouTube journey? Where did that came into the play?
I started 2018.
Okay.
That was, I think, 2 years after I started working. 2015 is when I got my internship, but I started full time 2016. So it was 2 years after I decided to start YouTube.
Hmm.
Why? Because it's a long story, but I'm gonna keep it short.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a big, was a big fan of Amitabh Bachchan, but he's also a big
Hmm.
fan of movies in general. Like he watched a lot of movies, and he would
Okay.
always take me to movies. And there was a time in my life where every single Friday I would watch a movie in theater. I would save all my pocket money. I wouldn't eat, but I would like go in that morning 9 o'clock show where the ticket price is like
Yeah.
50 rupees.
First day, first show is cheap, man. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Friday
yeah,
morning.
uh,
Yes.
yeah. So I've always been a big fan of like movies in general,
Hmm.
and I noticed that how movies, some people learn differently. For me, I learn by observing things, and movies are one of the things where I feel inspired, and I'm like, okay, I love it. Like and a lot of times I feel like I wish the story was made like this, so then
Uh-huh.
this would have been different. So there's always been in my head like that, like I wish I can make a movie like this, or I can make a movie on this topic. So yeah, so I
Interesting.
always wanted to become in get into film industry or make movies. I actually wanted to become an actor, and then I was like, I don't care if I wanted to become an actor. I can direct a movie. I can be a story writer.
Hmm.
But of course, our Indian parents, they
Yeah,
love computer science, or not computer science, they love engineering.
engineer.
So
Yes.
that's where the money is. Anyway, so I got into it. Long story short, I came here. There was a incident happened with me. I mean, it's a short incident, but like there was
Yeah.
this lady in my class who was like probably 50s or so,
Okay.
and I mean, in India we don't have students who are age of 50, right? Like, so that
Yeah.
was very different. So I went up to her and it's like, hey, so I don't want to hurt your feelings. I just want to know why you are taking class. And she's like, why do you ask that? I was like, so, in Indian culture, we don't have students who are this old. So I'm just curious, like, what brings you here? And then she said, I'm a nurse at this hospital. We use software, and I really want to understand how the software works. How do people build software? And that kind of, and then she said, and then she said something. She's like, I see so many patients on daily basis, and I see patients who are on deathbeds. And then one thing she got out of it is that they tell her, like, on the deathbed, you don't want to be regretting that I wish I would have done that. And that kind of hit me so hard.
Okay.
So, and that's why I changed my career to software development, to like PM, BA, etc. But
Uh-huh.
to the 2018, that I was well settled in my job. I had a home. I bought my
Mm-hmm.
first home in 2017, right after my first year of my job.
Nice.
And yeah, I was like, everything is going fine. I have some time, like, job is from over here, jobs are usually like 8 to 4 or 8 to 5.
Yeah.
So I have like 2-3 hours, and my Chico is like, there's no commute. It's only like 10 minutes commute for me.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I can start. And at that time, back in 2006, 2007, you need like director, you need money to get into the industry. But now you have YouTube, like you don't need
Yeah.
anything. Like just have your phone, film yourself, upload a video, and you're done. So that's kind of how it got started, and that's the motivation. And really, my motivation is to inspire people and
Mm-hmm.
tell stories, like, you can do amazing things. Don't limit yourself. And that's all. It's very evident. If anybody watches my video, they know I talk about this a lot, that do not give up on your dreams. You can do it. I know. Believe in yourself, have faith. All those things are very evident in my videos. Like, I say those a lot. And
Definitely.
that's what I want to tell people, because there are people like me who are from lower middle class family, and who think that they cannot do amazing things in their life. And I want to tell them that no, you can, and this is how.
Awesome. Wow. Definitely, Yudi. To be honest, like, so a lot of your videos have given me hope. Like, I'll watch them and I'll at the, there's a thing, right? If the person after watching the video is happy, you did your job right. You did the part. And I think I was always happy after watching your videos. Like, hey, something, I got a smile out of it.
Yeah.
If nothing, I got a smile out of it. And I think that is something you have done really well. So kudos for
Thank you.
that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I've
Yes.
always think about how this 10 minutes is going to add value to people's life, or 15 minutes. And now I make videos 1 hour long. So
That's fine. That's interesting. Yes. Awesome. So, all right. So you started this YouTube into, so this is about 4 years ago then, 17 or 18? 3, 4
18,
years?
September,
18.
September 2018. Yeah.
So about 3 years. So if you really see you've already over 100,000 people on your subscribers, you'll be at 150 within no time. So how did you kind of this exponential growth? How did that happen? How was the journey for first 1 year? And what happened that it started growing so fast?
Uh, Good question. I think I think I start. So my first channel, I don't know a lot of people. I should have said this. Like, a lot of people don't know, is like, my
Uh-huh.
first channel is called Coffee with Hustlers. It's still there.
Mm.
I think people can still find out. There is like 3, 4, maybe 5 videos. But
Okay.
that's a podcast channel where I would interview entrepreneurs and people who are like
Hmm.
local business owners and things like that. And then I realized, like, nobody knows me and nobody knows these local entrepreneurs. So why
Yeah.
would someone watch it? that was a wrong attitude at that time because I
Mm-hmm.
was so focused on people and number at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But first year was good. I mean, I was just upload. I was just, then I realized that I have a story of myself. Like I came from
Mm-hmm.
normal class family. I came to United States. I have a home. I have a car. I paid off my loan. These are all amazing things, and I need to share this. So that's really what the first year was about. It's just really coming up with the topics, and once you make like enough video, I think your audience will tell you what they want to see, and then you get
Mm-hmm.
to hang off it, like what you want to make on videos on. And I think the biggest growth was vlogs. I think I did started doing a lot of vlogs, which is like separate genre from what, so that's why I created a separate channel now. But vlogs
Okay,
was another part of it where people not just saw my technical and educational side, but also saw my entertaining side, where I would
got
make
it.
vlogs on travel and things like that. And I think that was, I would call that was like the main thing which started growing. But then it's not like always growing. It's there's up and down. Some
Well,
months will
yeah,
do, some months, some videos will not do. You
true.
just keep working on your craft. And my goal was really to just like get better at every single video I make. It doesn't matter, like this podcast should be better than my last podcast I shot as a guest. So that's what I try to do.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing, Yudi. Like, so as a creator, you will always go through a slump, right? You will sometimes you'll feel like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Or you just run out of ideas. So I'm sure this must have happened to you in your first year. What did you do during those times when you had this slump, when you didn't feel like, oh, I don't know what to do? What would be my next video?
I
How would you
think
approach
first
that?
year should I feel, I mean, unless you're doing daily vlogging or daily uploads, first year shouldn't be where you run out of ideas. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're making one video a week, that's 52 videos only. I mean, I,
True.
I feel I feel you will get 52 ideas. First year is not hard. Second year is the
Okay.
hard I feel, because
Okay.
now you spend 1 year and you start like comparing your 1 year time and all of effort and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, second year was the hardest, is where I'm like, figuring out like, is this what really I want to make? And is this what like really help? Like you start to doubt yourself sometimes when the people don't watch your videos, and you start to see the numbers are
True.
not coming, likes and subscribes and all that. So you just by default product of being on social media. And then you start to doubt yourself and you feel like maybe people don't enjoy my videos as much, or maybe people don't like the videos that I make. And how did I get out of it? Is just I started focusing on myself again. I said like,
Okay.
what do I really want to make, and
Mm-hmm.
what do I want people to learn out of me? And so that's, you just keep reinventing. I started making videos on immigration because that was big at that time. So making
Yeah.
videos on personal finance because I was like, nobody's taught personal finance to me. I learned it on my own. In Indian culture, we don't have the culture of where there's a education on how to manage finances. So it's like
True.
maybe I should make videos on that. Right now I'm in a phase where I am doing a lot more self reflection, how to live life better and well. What are the things you should focus on, and mindfully living. So those are the things which interest me right now in that zone. So I'm making videos on that, or I will be making videos on that. So
Okay.
it's just start focusing on yourself. What do you really want, and what do you enjoy making it, versus what do people enjoy? Like if you start struggling with that, like always go back to why did you start. I always go back. I started because I wanted to inspire people. Okay, I'm
Mm.
inspiring people. Do I enjoy what I do? If I don't, how can I make this more fun? If I can do this, then it'll be more fun, so let's do that. Is it fun? Yes, it is fun. Is the results coming? No. So you just, there's a flow chart, like it keeps happening. You just keep inventing. I don't
Got
know if
it.
I'm
Got it.
answering your question, but
You did definitely. Yes. Yeah. So here's a interesting thought I came to me. So I started watching you actually last year. There you were already at 60,000 people, and I loved watching especially the podcast you had, the interviews you had with people. And I came to your channel because I was looking. I was like, hey. I was running out of ideas to stay in US, and I was like, I need to find something to go to Canada, because that was the only
Oh,
option I was
right,
thinking of.
right.
And I came to your channel and I saw your video with one of the Canadian dude. You guys are sitting and you're having this coffee,
Yeah,
and I loved that video. I was like, wow! I didn't even watch the entire video, 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, I got my answer. I don't even need to.
yeah,
Here's the thing: I never did that Canada thing, but that day I felt so good that I have an option now. I didn't even know that there were options. So you gave me hope in a way that there are options available. Don't think that it's the end of the world.
right.
So definitely that's where I started, and then boom, within a year you went up to 140. So the question is, how did you keep yourself humble while you are having all this growth, all these things are happening to you? How do you keep yourself humble?
Um, I think I don't give myself the credit that I am doing this. I feel like I'm. This is gonna sound so trippy for a lot of people, but
That's fine.
I feel, and I want to give this credit to God, because I feel like God does all these things in my life. I'm just a vehicle for Him. Like, right, I don't rely a lot on my plans and my future. And like, I never thought I would come in America. Who would have thought? Like, my house in India was 300 square feet. Right now, my garage is double the size. So I like, I don't think about those things. I mean,
Mm,
when I think about it, there's no way possible I could do it. I know it is only possible through God. So I
awesome.
give it to Him. I just give it to Him. I said, God, even before filming this podcast, I just prayed. I just like literally 2 minutes. I was like, God, I'm going to share my life. I hope that people see what they want to see. I hope that this gives hope and encourages people to follow their dreams and their life and aspirations. And I'll let you decide how you want to do things. I'm not worried about if this video is going to make it, if people are going to be bored, people are going to say things about it. I don't worry about those things. I did my job. That's it. Like, then I leave it up to God. So that's how I keep myself humble. I don't think even if I'm at 1 million, 10 million, 15 million, 100 million, I'll still be like this. I feel, because this is, I still think that it's God who's doing all this. I'm just using His gifts and talents, which I'm borrowing from Him because He gave me those things. So that's how I
Interesting.
keep myself humble. I know
Awesome.
it's a very
Awesome.
different answer. People might have not expected this from me, but and
No,
and also I think there's a definitely I'd never forget where I come from.
excellent.
um
Yeah.
a big In terms of both money and YouTube. Like, when I started YouTube, I reached out to so many YouTubers who were bigger numbers than me. Like, I was at 500 and I reached out to people who were at 10,000, 15,000, 100,000, and nobody responded to me. And I know how it felt to me. So I don't want to be that person. I mean, if the people don't have numbers, or they just want to make content with me, if the content is good enough, I'm no one to stop them. Like, audience is gonna like it, and they're gonna decide to stick around or not. It's up to them to create the better content, right? So who am I to decide that? I don't have any problems collaborating with anybody. So I don't forget where I come from. Similarly, even for my life in general, like, I
Mm,
know where I came from. I know that, like, in my life, my parents were counting money on like 26, 27, because 30th is coming. Is the money's getting over? Where are they going to bring the food? So my mom would make just like milk and rice, because that's much easier to cook, or
yeah.
I mean, that's much cheaper, or something like that. And so I know those days, and I remember my mom and dad asking money from people, and I know how it feels to be on the other side. So if somebody's there, I'm more than happy to help. So that's, I just don't forget those days. I know where I come from. So uh, today I have this. Maybe tomorrow I won't have it. So so yeah. Anyway, sorry, long answer, but I hope this was helpful for people.
I am definitely. It's helpful to me, Yudi. I'll tell you that, and I'm sure. people will find value, to be honest, by we're already 40-50 minutes in there. The people who are watching really want to know about this, really want to know, so I don't think they're going to complain about it. But going back to what you said, I really like that, because similar to you, I had tough times when I came to US. I had a good childhood. My parents, like, until 8 maybe not, but then I had a good childhood. My parents business did well. But when I came to US, things really changed. I didn't have that support. I had to do things by myself. But I remember one thing one of my mentors told me. He said, if you forget where you came from, eventually you'll end up back there. So that is what allows me to kind of like understand that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to climb that horse. I'm going to keep my head down and keep walking, because that just, I feel you will end up back there. It's, you can't fly high too far. Like you said, you have it today, you may not have it tomorrow. So
I treat people how I want to be treated. Like I
the
don't treat
golden
people.
rule.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think was it Gandhi who said that? I think it was him.
I actually do not know. I read it. It's a golden rule. All I read it is a golden rule. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. That's one of my philosophies as well. So interesting. Cool. All right. So love knowing all of this. So maybe we can go into a conclusion part here. What I want to know is 3 things about you. This can be totally random. First of all, how did you meet your wife? Where did you meet her? And did you really did you ever thought that you are going to get married to someone in America or an American girl? Did you had that belief in you before?
Yeah, definitely not. I didn't come here to get married. I did not plan. I did not think that I would get married to an American or an American person. It wasn't. I didn't think about that. How did I meet her? I met her in Chico State for one of the events where we organized a cultural community night. She organized it, and they wanted Indian students to host it. So I went and presented about India. So that's how we met. What was your second question?
Even I forgot it now. So I was listening to you, but
So that's how I met her, and I did not think about like I would be marrying somebody or something like that. It just happened.
Stumbled upon it then. Okay, awesome. I'm sure you're happy at everything that's happened so far.
Oh
so
yeah.
Here's the thing, Yudi. So a couple of more questions and we're done here. Where do you see yourself going now? You have all of these things. If you really see, to a lot of 25-year-old people, what you have today is like ultimate. They're like, oh, if I have this much, I will give up on life. I can settle, I can retire. But so what is your goal going forward here? Where do you see yourself going in the direction, at least, with your job also and with your YouTube also? Because I kind of know that you're into passive income and you're into that kind of thing, and so I'm sure eventually you have a goal where you want to let go of your plan A to carry your plan B forward. Seems like that.
Right. I mean, I honestly just want to make. I just want to wake up every day and film, edit, tell stories. I think that gives me the max joy of doing what I do. So I have independent clients. I make videos for my church, different brands and things like that. Also, I make video for YouTube. So I just if sometimes I feel like I wish I didn't have my job, because then all I have to do is just wake up and film. I mean, I think it's such a cool idea. Like I wake up and it's like, okay, today what I'm gonna film. That would be, or today where I'm gonna travel to vlog or something like that. I want to do that. I just enjoy filming. So that is something I want to do. Now, is it going to be just YouTube videos? Is it going to be a web series? Is it going to make a feature film? Is it going to be making videos for client? Is it going to be video production business, or is it going to be brand business? I don't know. That part I'm not planning on. Again, like I said, I don't usually plan those things. I will let God decide where He wants me to be. I'm just going to keep focusing on my craft. I'm going to get better at telling stories. I will make eventually a web series is what I definitely want to see myself making one,
Nice.
or a short movie or something like that, like super high production, things like that. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't think I'll retire ever, because I don't think, I mean, if I'm working what I love, then I'm never working a day, right? so
True. Definitely.
so that's kind of what the plan is to figure out a way, because I make good money at my job. It is, my lifestyle is built around that, so I have to make sure that the risk to leave my job and comfort zone of every month salary,
Yeah.
which is, it's a safety net. Like, I don't have to worry about where the money is going to come, because I know every 15 days I'm going to get a paycheck and it's going
True.
to pay my bills. But when you're doing video business or you are doing videos, you have to figure out a system where you are getting that consistent pay. So I'm not there yet. So that is something I will be working on, figuring out how I can get there. Maybe it might not happen after. I mean, maybe if you talk to me in 2 years, maybe I'll be like, no, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to build a product, or I want to be a CEO. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay. So you're willing to go wherever life takes you, which is
Yeah.
very
Wherever God
interesting.
takes me. But yeah, same
Nice.
thing.
Same thing. Yes. Awesome. I think that's pretty much what I had, Yudi. I think you answered a lot of my questions, a lot of things I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know in a
Yeah.
short 1 hour period. But if you're planning to make one of those videos, when are you coming to Detroit? That's my question.
You need to invite me.
So here's the thing. I will give you an open invitation. You can come to Detroit anytime, any weekend you can choose and come. You can even come on a Friday. I can take a day off, no
Yeah.
issues. And we'll go around and I'll show you some of the Detroit and break those myths which people hear that it's scary and it's dangerous. We'll break those myths.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely not this year, because I'm going to New York for 3 weeks in September. Then
yeah.
I'm going to Florida for 2 weeks in November.
Oh,
December,
nice.
I'm probably going to stick around for Christmas and things like that. But next year, whenever it is good season to come, spring maybe. I don't know if the Detroit has spring.
We have all 4 seasons in Michigan. We are very fortunate. But yeah, usually April it starts getting warmer. So maybe around that time I'll ping
Yeah.
you and then you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have direct flights from Sacramento. Delta flies direct. So welcome
Nice.
anytime.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That sounds good.
Cool. All right. That's pretty much it then, Yudi. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate
Thank
your
you for
time.
having me. Yeah.
Yes. I'll talk to you later. Yep. Bye.
Sounds good. Keep smiling, keep hustling, guys.
You bet.